He was surprised to find out that his recently reunited sister didn't like strawberry cake. He clearly remembered that it was her favorite thing to eat when she was a child. Even though the girl repeatedly explained that her tastes had changed as she grew up, the CEO still felt something was off about her. So, when she wasn't paying attention, he secretly took a strand of her hair to do another paternity test. And the CEO's suspicion wasn't wrong. The girl in front of him was indeed not his biological sister. Years ago, when their house caught on fire, their father had fled with him and his brother in a panic, leaving his 5-year-old sister alone in the flames. Fortunately, the little girl miraculously survived and wasn't burned to death. The next day, she was found by a kind-hearted woman who collected scrap. The kind woman took the little girl in and raised her. 14 years passed in a blink of an eye, and the little girl had grown up into an adult. After graduation, she started an internship at the company. However, the moment she saw the boss, she immediately recognized him as her long-lost brother. But she chose not to reunite with him and instead treated him like a stranger. Because her father's actions had deeply hurt her back then, she no longer considered them her family. When she heard her colleagues say that the boss was looking for his lost sister, she felt nothing. She even couldn't help but sarcastically remark that the family was nothing but cold-hearted and emotionless, and that the search for the sister was just a hypocritical act. This scene was overheard by a scheming colleague. She immediately called the boss over. The furious boss immediately had the girl fired and blacklisted her from getting hired by any company. At that moment, the girl was completely heartbroken. She tore off the jade pendant her mother had given her and threw it into the sink. And this scene was noticed by the scheming colleague. She picked it up and, seeing that it looked valuable, kept it without thinking. The next day, while delivering documents to the boss, he instantly recognized the jade pendant she wore as the one his sister had as a child. He urgently asked her where she got the pendant. To avoid being caught, the scheming woman lied, claiming it was hers. Coincidentally, the scheming woman was about the same age as his sister. This made the boss even more convinced that she might be his lost sister. Meanwhile, the real sister was looking for a job everywhere, but the boss had already blacklisted her in the entire city, and no company dared to hire her. But that wasn't the worst of it. When she got home, she found her adoptive mother's cancer diagnosis. To make money for her adoptive mother's treatment, she had no choice but to return to the boss's house and beg him to let her off. But at that moment, the boss was getting ready to take his mother to meet the fake sister. He didn't want to deal with her at all. He told her to kneel at his doorstep and stay there until he returned. Having no other option, she agreed to the boss's harsh demand. Meanwhile, he was out shopping with the fake sister, unaware that his real sister was being drenched in the rain until she fainted. When the boss and his family returned home, he was surprised to see that the girl had actually been kneeling there for so long. Yet, the boss still didn't plan to let her go.